What are you making, Mark?
Huh?
What are you making?
Tears.
No. What are you making for dinner?
Beef stroganoff, Julie.
Nice. And I've told you, if you hold your tongue out, it'll stop you from crying.
That's a lie, isn't it?
No.
It is a lie.
Stick your tongue out further.
I can't do it any further.
You don't have to wiggle it, just stick your tongue out. And it'll stop you from crying. See, it's working. Is it working? It is working, isn't it? Ah, you didn't think I was right. What a sight.
That worked.
Ah! There you go.
That actually worked. I'm Mark, and this is Julie, and as you can see, she hasn't left me, contrary to the rumours. She's still here in the flesh. She's got a bit of a throat infection this week, so she's not going to be able to speak, so I'll do most of the talking in this bit. So what did we get up to this week, Julie? We travelled from Woughton on the Green, which was where you grew up, and we headed to Cosgrove. Along the way we took in an aqueduct and a viaduct, which was exciting, and I have to say that Cosgrove is a very, very pretty little town with the most amazing little horseshoe tunnel.
Oh my God, that's a break.
And it goes under the canal, so it's very dark and damp, but it's a great way of getting from one side of the village to the other. We didn't manage to go to the pub, although that did come highly recommended. If you want to see a recommendation on that, watch A Life Full of Meaning with Lisa and Glenn. They went there and said it was absolutely gorgeous. So we head towards Cosgrove, and it gets very windy around the Woughton area, which is apparently Britain's first railway town. But it does get very windy round there. They've built some new flats, and there's lots of blind spots and overhanging trees and so on. So for a wide beam going through, a bit tricky. But we made it. So I hope you enjoy the footage, and we'll see you when we get there. Morning.
Good morning.
Today we're going to go from Woughton on the Green, which is where Julie was raised,
Yeah.
to
Stantonbury Park.
Stantonbury Park. That was recommended by one of our viewers, Patricia.
Yeah, Patricia recommended it.
So we hold you responsible, Patricia, if we don't like it. I'm sure we will.
It looks good on the map. So
It does, yeah. Also good for walking into Milton Keynes as well.
And into Willen Lake, which is something that I would love to do. So
Indeed. Yeah. Right, okay, so let's get on with the journey.
Looks like a brand new bridge being built. Bridge 87. And the first heron of the day. He's going to stay. He's floating on a log. And one thing that is really good about Milton Keynes is the amount of cycle paths that they've got. So it's not people using the canal path. That's kind of kept separate. And here we've got the canal path, but just behind the hedge there is a really good cycle track. You can get anywhere in Milton Keynes if you've got a bike. It's a new town, new city, so they've built tracks and really thought about it. Heron's right up in the tree there. On his little perch. On Bridge 82B it says the Bedford and Milton Keynes waterway will start just north of here on the right. So we'll have a look and see how they're getting on. It will make a huge difference because it is going to be a wide beam canal. And if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can tell me if I am, I think it's going to mean that we're going to be able to end up going onto the Norfolk Broads as a wide beam, which then means we can go on the sea for just a little while, and then we would be able to access the north without coming out of the water. So this is going to be the entrance to the new canal, I presume. Moorings there at the moment. Well, I think that may be where the new canal may start. I might be wrong, but I think it may be there. And this is the new Campbell Wharf Marina that you can see behind. Bit of building work going on at the moment, opposite. To imagine you have to clean your boat a few times at the moment. All the dust flying. That looks really lovely. So I've got Campbell Wharf Marina behind me. And behind that, about, I don't know if it's about 1.5 miles, maybe less, is Woodland Lake, which is a beautiful spot. So nice place to moor your boat. New bridge being built, so they've obviously gone for the rusty metal look. Lots of buildings going up here. And there's the entrance to the marina. It's actually got quite a nice entrance. Normally marinas have tiny little entrances and they're hard to get round, but that's quite a nice, easy one to get into. Well, Bridge 82 looks like it's seen better days. One little push, you reckon that'll all come down? Well, let's hope not. I don't know what it is about the Grand Union. We've probably got it once on the K&A where people in smaller boats don't like wide beam boats. We had one incident on the K&A. On the Grand Union, it's much wider than the Avon Canal, much wider. They're both wide beam canals, but this is much wider. And we've had some really nasty, rude people, like the one that just passed us. You know, we were trying to get round the bend. You have to go round. He was racing round the corner. He decided he wasn't going to stop. Luckily I was on the front and leant over to stop him from hitting or ramming into the side of our boat. And you know, Mark said good morning to him and said hello to him, totally ignored him, and then just told us to off.
Nearly went in.
You did, didn't you? not just concrete cows in Milton Keynes.
I've got real cows too.
Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
So this is the Lionhearts Cruising Club, and this is where my mum and dad used to have a boat moored 36 years ago. My goodness. There was a bit more land, I think, before. We used to have bonfires in there for firework night.
I wonder if anyone's still a member of the club that when your dad was here.
Yeah, I wonder.
I expect if you went through their records.
It'd be really nice to find out what the number of our boat was and see if it's still around. A beautiful canal side house there, property. I believe that building was where you can see the railings there. The wharf used to be to the Newport Canal, which is no longer in existence. It's absolutely thick fog this morning. I didn't think anyone would move in this because it really is difficult to see. But there is a little light over there, a little toot as they came around the corner, and there's a little boat coming through. So we're just about to leave our mooring. It's been really nice here, hasn't it?
It has.
Really pretty. Lots and lots of walks. But there's a bit of a shelf, isn't there? Next to...
There is.
You need your big fenders out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of times boats were going by and we were clanging against the side. There's like a shelf underneath. It's about that wide. And we were clanging against the side, so we had to move the boat a couple of times, didn't we, just to make sure we found the bit without the shelf.
Yeah.
So, but we're off today. We're going to Cosgrove.
That's where we're going.
Cosgrove.
Cosgrove.
So, one lock.
Across the aqueduct.
Yeah, across the aqueduct, which would be fun. One lock at about 4 miles.
Yeah, 4 or 5 miles.
So not a massive jump today, but
no.
Still, it's quite pretty. We went up there yesterday and had a look, and it's very pretty. So
yeah.
Looking forward to it.
And a beautiful autumn day.
Stunning.
And just when you're about to untie all your ropes, there's 4 boats coming. 2 boats in that direction and 2 boats in that direction. So we know this stretch is going to be really, really busy with boats to and fro, because we're not that far away, but 8 miles away from Stoke Bruin. Beautiful parkland here, and we're not far from the centre of Milton Keynes. Literally was, there's a lot of roundabouts in Milton Keynes, but it was literally one straight road into the city centre, which was really nice. It's like being on the Kent and Avon Canal with all the reeds. So if you moor here, you've got a lovely Armco to moor on, and handy. If you go over the bridge, you've got Asda's. That's quite handy. We'll do that on the way back. I think in front of us is bridge 74. A nice pub there, the new inn. It says boats welcome. It's quite an unusual footbridge there, going over the canal. Look at the leaves all changing colour, beautiful. So this is the Grafton Street. It says aqueduct. Built in 1991. 1991? Wow, okay. So we're going over Grafton Street. So there are a lot of parks in Milton Keynes, but there are lots and lots of green spaces. They've really thought about it when they've built it because it is a new town. We've just seen another boater, one of the boaters that actually passed us by when we were trying to untie and leave our spot. He said it's all doom and gloom in front for about the next half a mile. Lots and lots of roads, very built up on both sides, lots of factories. But this will be the first time that it's actually been really built up around this area, which is fine. We were expecting it at some point, I must admit. I think this was done by Bill Billings, and Bill Billings, I believe, he was an artist who also did the Triceratops that we saw at Woughton on the Green. So it says there, Cosgrove 2 miles, and that's where we're heading today, and Stoke Bruin, it's got us 8 miles. And there are 72 miles to Birmingham. This reminds me a bit of coming through Reading. It's very similar to this. Some beautiful old buildings on the left-hand side. Bridge goes through that way, but you've got a boat on this side. I hope it's just deceiving and it'd be really easy to do, but a 65 foot, wouldn't like to have got a 70 foot through here. But what do I know? I don't drive the boat. It may be easy. How many people have hit the wall? I'll just push us off, I think, just in case. Harder said than done. So, this is pretty unbelievable, really. There's a Canal and River Trust boat moored up abreast another boat where there's an overhanging tree. Honestly, really? Thanks, guys. So we're going to cross over the River Ouse now. The River Ouse will be below us. We're going to be in an iron trunk aqueduct that's going to take us across the top, and it was built in 1811. Previous to that, there were 9 locks. They were soon taken out of use because of flooding. After that was a brick aqueduct that collapsed in 1808, I believe, and this one was built in 1811. So I hope it's maintained. Whoa. That's a long way down. All that's holding you in is this little bit of ironwork. That is spectacular. I remember crossing this when I was a little girl in my mum and dad's little boat, little cruiser, and my mum used to walk. There's a footpath over there. So we're coming into Cosgrove now. This is the entrance into Cosgrove, and one thing I've got to say is there are lots and lots and lots of visitor moorings. So next to the aqueduct there's lots of 14-day visitor moorings. We're going to head on through the lock at Cosgrove because we already checked out there's some really nice moorings the other side, and they're also visitor moorings, and they've all got rings, which is really nice. Don't know if these ones have, but the ones we're going to do. Well, I thought the great big large boat was the one with the mast, but it isn't. It's this little one here. How cool is that? Okay, so earlier on we came over the Iron Trunk Aqueduct, and we've just brought Eric back for a walk back over it again to see what it was like. I was walking over. What did you think of it?
I didn't enjoy it really much. I'm not great with heights.
You didn't like it at all, did you?
No, it's horrible. It's horrible. You just sort of peer down into this abyss with the river, so it's not very nice.
It's not very long either, is it?
No, it's only, what is it, 30 feet? But it's the height more than the length.
Yeah. So what we have just read here on one of the display panels
is that when they were repairing the canal in 1982, they found a damaged drainage hole. So a workman stuffed his Wellington boot down the hole, and it created a watertight seal. And what is quite worrying is that they said on this board that the seal, that the Wellington boot is still in place and working as a seal.
It's still doing the job.
Still doing the job 30 odd years later.
Are you glad you didn't know that when we came over?
Yeah, I think so.
To prove it, I'll show you.
Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. The bell icon, if you click that, then it lets you know when we release new videos, so you don't have to search us out. It will tell you automatically. And keep your comments coming. We love your comments. We answer every single one. We get all sorts of comments. A lot of people ask us about wide beams and how we're restricted and where we can travel and so on. And we have done videos on those. And they've asked us about how we plan our trips as well. Julie does most of the planning. She gets the canal map guides out, Nicholson's and so on, don't you? And so I tend to just leave that down to Julie while I do the steering, so I get the easy job. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.